Situational leadership, or how to pick the right management style. To be a good leader, you need to know how to vary your leadership style depending upon the circumstances. For example, leading in a crisis requires a different approach to managing everyday circumstances. Therefore, as a leader, you need to adapt your style accordingly. This is called situational leadership. Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard developed the most well-known model for situational leadership. This model helps to show the most appropriate form of leadership depending upon the nature of the task and the competency and commitment of the team. In simple terms, it breaks down into 4 key leadership styles. These are directive, delegating, supporting, and coaching. And we'll look at each one of those in turn now. Directing. Directing is telling people what to do. This is usually used for enthusiastic novices or when in a crisis situation. This command style is suitable for critical problems. This is certainly not my normal and preferred way of working, but it is very useful when things go wrong or people start to panic. But in my experience, if a leader uses this style the whole time or out of context, then it can be overbearing, condescending, or both. Delegating. Delegating is giving over whole tasks to people who are experienced and able to take responsibility. This is a more hands-off leadership approach used with competent team members. In my experience, effective delegation is critical to maximising what you can achieve as a leader. As Ronald Reagan said, surround yourself with the best people you can find, delegate authority and don't interfere as long as the policy you've decided upon is being carried out. Supporting. This style suits when there is a high level of trust in the team and the individuals can manage themselves independently. But the leader employing this style has higher participation than in pure delegation by providing moral support, encouraging and communicating effectively. In my experience, this approach to leadership works well in teams with a flatter structure with high levels of professionalism and trust. Coaching. In this context, coaching involves selling the task to the individual and helping them to grow and to take on more responsibility. This works particularly well with individuals who may have lost confidence in what they need to do. I have often used this approach when mentoring leaders. When they become stretched by their tasks and start to lose confidence in themselves, then this approach can help to get them back on track. By maintaining calm and demonstrating confidence in the individual, they're able to regain their own self-belief. But as well as the different leadership styles, we also need to consider the development levels that relate to the maturity and capability of the team members. These progress from the low end of maturity and development, for example, a new worker has just joined the firm, to an expert level where the person is highly capable to deal with the task. It's important to remember that someone could be very experienced in some areas, but when faced with a new task, they could find themselves out of their depth. Equally, a new joiner might have expertise that a long-term team member is lacking. Therefore, as a manager, it's important to think about someone's ability to do the specific task and how to lead them in that situation, rather than just assume a default approach based on the amount of time that someone has spent in a given job. And this applies no matter how senior we get. I've worked with entrepreneur CEOs who are incredibly experienced and gifted, but who have required coaching support as their roles and organisations have evolved. It is an important lesson in humility for all leaders as well as team members. It does not matter how capable we are or think we are, there will always be times when we are learners and need people to support us. We all have our own preferred leadership style. For me, I prefer a more non-directive approach to leading. I like to put trust in my team and support them to achieve the results rather than just telling them what to do. But I can't always lead that way. The best leaders are not stuck in one mode of management all the time. Fortunately, the situational leadership model can help us identify the times when we need to adapt our approach. It might be the external circumstances that prompt that change, or it could be an experience level of a team member. The important thing is to be aware of the changes in your situation so you are ready to adapt as a leader. So have a think about your management responsibilities today. What is the situation? What is the team composition and their experience with that task? Which do you think is the appropriate leadership style to apply? Try it out, and later take some time to reflect upon whether the approach worked effectively or not. This process of experimentation and reflection will help you to identify when to flex your leadership style and make you a better situational leader. If you would like to find out more on this subject or about other leadership models and decision-making tools, then click on the link or head over to the website at www.therightquestions.co. And if you found this helpful, please do like and subscribe.